Hey, what's going on? This is Brian with Fantasy Boom talking about the slate for draft for 4/27, 2018, kicking it off with my live draft. Soon as I'm done here, I will talk about the draft that I did 2 days ago. I didn't play last night because with a one game slate and not getting Giannis, you're kind of asking for it. So definitely didn't play. But I'll go over my lineup from 2 nights ago, right after I wrap up this draft. If this is your first time watching a video like this, I think you're going to enjoy draft. It's an easier way to play head-to-head DFS. You can check the description of this video. Click my link and you get a free $3 entry to try it out. This I get the first pick. This is a string of getting the second pick. You got LeBron. I'm gonna take John Wall. I'm gonna take Russell Westbrook, folks. Here we're gonna talk about him in a little bit. I was very close to taking Donovan Mitchell over him, but because of Russell Westbrook's ceiling, I'm going with him because he has not played well in Utah in 2 games. But I can't give him the opportunity to get LeBron and Westbrook. That would just be silly talk. He went Oladipo. Oladipo's my favorite player. He is not on my draft board, period. He went Rudy Gobert early because Rudy Gobert is the only center on this draft. But he definitely picked those guys too early because I wouldn't have picked Gobert here probably. Going Paul George. And forwards is a little rough tonight, folks. But Paul George was the best guy you can get outside of LeBron, and then it's a big drop-off. I'm taking Thaddeus Young, who's playing a lot better at home than he is on the road. A lot better. I'm liking this draft. Donovan Mitchell was not even getting drafted here in this draft because he went with Oladipo. Love Oladipo, but he's not playing good enough for me right now. Kevin Love not even on my draft board either, so I'm kind of liking this. And Jonas Valanciunas is probably the best option. Miles Turner has been so terrible, and Jonas is not near as good on the road, but he's really my best option. So he's projected to beat me by 5 on draft standards. However, I like my draft a lot better than his. So let's get into it real quick. So let's talk about my last draft real quick. Another victory. And I try to show that to you guys so you kind of feel like I know what I'm talking about when I'm creating my draft orders. So I went with LeBron, Wall, Westbrook, Capella, and Ibaka. He went with Harden, Oladipo, Paul George, Kevin Love, and Karl Anthony Towns. I'm going to be honest. I knew I was going to win this draft from the minute it happened. He picked Paul George number 3, which I knew Paul George was going to have a good game, and he did at 53.6. But he could have got Paul George probably a little bit later, and it allowed me to get LeBron James, Wall, and Westbrook. So I knew I was winning this one. My only dud here was Serge Ibaka. He was my last pick, though. I can't believe he got 5.9. I probably could have done better myself if I was on the court. And doing further evaluation of his games, he hasn't been touching the ball, not getting enough shots. So that was probably a little bit risky on my part. I probably could have went Derek Favors there, but I still beat the guy by 33.9. Absolutely destroyed him. I wasn't high on Oladipo that game. Wasn't high on Kevin Love either. So that's why I just knew I was going to beat this guy. And I was pretty sure Harden was going to fall under his expectation. And he actually wasn't doing anything a majority of the game. But let's stop talking about that. I was projected to lose by 11 by draft standards, but I won by 34. So that's why the draft I just did right there, it says I'm supposed to lose by 4 or something like that. Pretty sure I'm going to beat his ass too. So number 1, LeBron. It's hard not to go number 1 with LeBron. Now with my projections, I have LeBron projected at 46, but it's kind of based off Indiana's defense for the season. Unfortunately, I have not been able to get the numbers defensive-wise during the playoffs. So that's why I take my notes here. He's averaging 65 fantasy points in 9 games, has not gone under 60 a single time. And the 2 games on the road, he had 60 and 64. So LeBron is a no-brainer, number 1. John Wall, he's a clear-cut number 2 to me, but 2 and 3 are always going to be interchangeable. John Wall averaging 58 in the series. I have him projected to score 60. I don't know if he's going to get that high, but he hasn't gone under 48. And he's actually averaging 65 in the 2 home games, so maybe he will get that 60. Russell Westbrook, again, I almost took Donovan Mitchell over him, but my opponent didn't take Mitchell, period, so I guess I'm happy with Westbrook. He's averaging 59 in 9 games, but in the 2 games in Indiana and Utah in the playoffs, he's averaging 44, and I've got him projected at 45. But because he has such a high ceiling, and he is averaging 59 in 9 games against them, I feel pretty good with him. Donovan Mitchell, really like him tonight. He's averaging 42 versus OKC in 8 games. In the playoffs, he hasn't gone under 39. And the 2 games at home, he had 51 and 46. So I have to imagine he's a tremendous play tonight. Paul George, he's a clear-cut number 2 forward behind Paul George, averaging 42 in the 9 games against the Jazz. In the 2 away games, he's had 35 and 45. Now, Paul George actually plays a little bit better away than he does at home. And all games except 1, he's been plus 40. So I really think 40 to 44 is really reasonable for him tonight. Kyle Lowry, it was very hard for me to put Kyle Lowry and DeRozan in order. I ultimately went with Kyle Lowry. He is, other than the first game, he has had 40 in 4 straight games, and he's averaging 41 on the road. So he's a really good play tonight, I think. DeRozan, he's kind of all over the place. You know, he's one of those guys that will give you a few good games and then a bad one. I think he's due for a bad one, but I do like him averaging 43 versus these guys. He had 36 and 52 in Washington, so complete opposite ends of the spectrum. He hasn't. He could go anywhere from 39, 40 to 50. So Lowry's just safer to me. Other than that, I got Rubio and Oladipo. I don't have them highlighted because they're not only the people in bold are on my draft board. Rudy Gobert, he's kind of a must for your lineup at center tonight. He's averaging 33 in 7 games against them. His last 4 have been 31, 34, 41, and 47. He only had 1 bad game, and the 2 games he had at home were 35 and 41. I look for him to do very well because Steven Adams doesn't perform well on the road at all in any way. Thaddeus Young, kind of happy to get him in the draft. He's averaging 29 in 9 games, but in the 2 home games, he's had 32 and 44. And he's only been averaging 22 away, so he's just much better at home, and it's a must-win game for the Pacers. So I'm happy to have Thaddeus Young on my team tonight. Carmelo Anthony averaging 30 in 9, 25 away. So 18, 24, and 26 are his last 3. He has not been playing too well, but he was still on my draft board. He's on my draft board ahead of Kevin Love tonight. So, but I didn't have to worry about picking him because my opponent did take Kevin Love. And I have no desire for Kevin Love tonight. And Jonas Valanciunas, he's my last guy, and he's the other center. He's averaging 25 in 9 games against these guys. In the 2 away games, he's at 26 and 16. Now, his big games where he had 40-plus have been at home. Opening game of the series, he was at home, and he had 25. But it seems like he's definitely going to get you 25. Yes, he did have 1 16er in this thing, but I feel really good about him getting 65. He might have that big game, but again, the 2 big games were at home, and it seems like Gortat gets more minutes at home by a handful of minutes. So I'm not expecting the big Valanciunas game, but you never know. But he's the only other center, in my opinion, worth taking tonight. So thanks for checking out the video, guys. Hit subscribe, give a thumbs up. I will be back hopefully tomorrow to let you know how this draft went and to talk about the next slate. So I think I've only had 3 losses so far since I started doing the videos, which was the last week of the season. So everything's been going really, really well. And I think this is another one that I'm going to pull out. Never know, but I feel pretty good about it. Thanks for checking out the video. Talk to you soon. Peace.